Good afternoon and welcome to our session. I'm Mary and I am the Azure Product Marketing Lead for Microsoft Greece, Cyprus and Malta. Today, we are going to talk innovation, and we are going to do that with an in-depth conversation with one of our customers so that we can get a closer look at how an organization operating in a traditional industry has leveraged Azure to infuse innovation in what they do. But before going into the discussion, I want to take a few minutes to reiterate some of the messages you are hearing at Build. I do hope you had the chance to listen to Satya's keynote yesterday, where he discussed the 10 technologies that are creating new opportunities for developers to innovate without compromise across all our platforms. At Microsoft, we believe that the world will be transformed through tech intensity and digital transformation. And every organization will need to build its own digital capability or risk being left behind. In fact, our goal with the Microsoft Cloud is to help our customers explore the art of the possible. We believe that no other company has the breadth and the depth of the solutions that we deliver, and that the comprehensiveness of the Microsoft Cloud is just one of the things that makes it so unique. So whether your goal is to modernize apps, build cloud-native apps, harness the power of your data and integrate AI to your apps, rapidly build applications with low-code platforms, or rub a little bit of DevSecOps, Microsoft supports you with the entire set of tools to increase velocity and enable developers, data engineers, and data scientists to build on their terms, use their favorite languages, open source frameworks, and tools they are familiar with, to get from idea to code to cloud from anywhere, collaborating in a secure way. Let's see how all of this is put into action. Mitya, the floor is yours to introduce us to our guest and discuss how a traditional industrial company in Greece accelerated innovation with Azure.
Thank you very much, Mary, and hello everyone. A warmly welcome to this session at Build. My name is Mitya Kolbe, and as a digital advisor, I'm part of the customer transformation team in Microsoft Industry Solutions, working closely with manufacturing and energy clients around EMEA. One of the companies that I've been working with closely over the last year and a half, and I'm very excited about, is Mytilineos, a large industrial company based in Greece. And Mytilineos has an interesting growth and development story that I'd like you to hear today, but an even more ambitious future vision. So the scope of the session today really is to share part of the transformation journey, in particular around data and AI, and the future plans of Mytilineos. To give a bit of a background, Mytilineos is headquartered in Athens, and it runs internationally diverse activities in metallurgy, power and gas, sustainable engineering solutions, and renewables and storage development. And it's trying to find synergetic benefits between those units. While this is a company that is present in 30 countries with more than 5,000 employees, one of their very important aspects is also the ESG standards. And if we look at their energy side, Mytilineos is also the largest privately owned company, power and gas utility in Greece. Its business development efforts are now strongly focused around sustainable energy solutions, supporting the national and global goal of energy transition. So very interesting times for the energy industry indeed. And today, it's a great honor and pleasure for me to have Dr. Vasilis Nikolopoulos, Head of Innovation, Applied Research and Development at Protergia, the energy and gas business unit of Mytilineos. In the last 20 years, Vasilis has been working in applied research, technology transfer, and open innovation procedures, focusing on deep tech problems applied to utilities and the energy sector. He has global recognition in top innovation and entrepreneurship contests in Europe and USA. He's an active angel investor in various deep tech startups and also acting as mentor in various accelerator programs. So Vasilis joined Protergia about 2 years ago, and after launching and developing a successful energy startup that ended up being part of Mytilineos today. So Vasilis, welcome on our Build stage, and let us start this conversation really by asking you to share a bit of your background. And how did the whole journey begin between you, Mytilineos, and Protergia?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mitya and Mary. Thanks a lot, and thanks Microsoft for the invitation and the way I will share my experience with you. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I am a traditional entrepreneur, a deep tech entrepreneur. I started back in 2011 by transforming my PhD from National Technical University of Athens into a successful scale-up company, dealing back then with data analytics and customer engagement for big energy utility clients. And after raising funds, going to the States, set up company and making business in various countries, one of our first big clients in Greece was Mytilineos back in 2016, where they bought our services, the dashboards, the mobile apps, and it was the first actually utility in Greece that entered dynamically into the digital customer engagement sector. After working with Mytilineos, we found out that we have a very common vision of many things. And after roughly 3 years, there was an M&A. So actually, the company, the group, invested a lot in our intellectual property, in our IP. And this is why I'm always telling to young deep tech entrepreneurs that you have to build something strong. You have to build your own IP that gives you a very strategic advantage, competitive advantage into the energy market, especially in that specific market. And there was an M&A, and actually the Intelend became the internal innovation and applied research department, where right now has let's say the objective to create new services, new products, to adopt open innovation strategy methodologies, so that to push the transition, the transformation of the group to the new digital utility era. That's a big challenge, but I think the timing is correct, because as we all entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs we are mentioning, big crisis and big let's say volatile markets, as the energy market that we are right now, create big opportunities that we have to take into advantage right now. And of course, to do that, we need enabling technologies and enable companies as Microsoft.
Well, thanks, Vasilis, for this intro. These are very interesting times for startups in the energy to join the corporate world, and you have successfully done it so. But the energy transition agenda is very challenging for Europe and the world, while we are, seeing disruption in energy sources, supply, and in prices. So besides the transitions to renewables, it brings a whole new set of challenges for new market models. So how are you really addressing those challenges within Mytilineos now, and what are the main objectives and goals of your innovation work now at Protergia in these regards?
Okay, that's pretty good question, because we are in the transition phase. The energy is undergoing right now a huge digital transformation, so we have to change the way we approach electricity. We approach actually demand profiling and demand consumption. So our innovative strategy is built upon 4 core verticals. The first one is the digital world. So we want to innovate under the notion of a platform economy. Energy goes directly into the platform economy right now with marketplaces and platform-enabled services and mobile apps. The second important vertical is machine learning intelligence. There's a huge application in the energy sector right now as we go from the traditional consumer to the prosumer. So a client that can actually generate its own energy and can be connected into smart energy communities. We need AI and machine learning to try, let's say, to control this complex environment and to try to find solutions to the new business problems. So AI and machine learning will have a huge development, huge evolution in the energy domain. The third vertical, we call it smart connected world. So we're talking about smart cities. We're talking about IoT. We're talking about the sensor technology and the sensor world that comes right after. We're going to have a huge new production of energy streams and data streams from our clients, because we will install things into them, trying to put them into the new digital prosumer model. So connected world, IoT and sensors, it's pretty much a very big strategic area for us. And the fourth one, it is what else? Blockchain, sharing economy. The energy is a highly transactional business. So we are working right now on advanced smart contracts We're talking about batteries that can exchange energy with each other. We are talking about smart, aware consumers/prosumers, where they will be able to get into the flexibility market and try to interact with each other, either by selling or acquiring energy, or of course to integrate also what we call the PPAs, the power purchase agreements. So a very, very green, educated prosumer could be very easily take green energy from a local or remote RES, renewable energy source, could be either a photovoltaic panel or a PV park or a wind farm. So these are the four main vertical innovation sectors that we are currently working right now in order to become, let's say, highly innovative utility in the new digital era.
Well, thanks for sharing that for different aspects and pillars for your transformation. Now, taking out of that you basically have realized that to thrive innovation further, you'll need to democratize access to data. So I know you've invested in a common data warehouse for all business units. Besides using it for business data, you're also accelerating the development and deployment of industrial use cases in the other business units that are helping to achieve efficient and resilient operation. However, what is really interesting is how you're thinking and looking at digital reinvention to provide new energy services, smart city services, as you mentioned. So could you give us a bit of an overview of the Aspas Innovation Hub and the services that you are planning to implement there for the community?
Yeah. Aspas, it's one of the most innovative initiatives that we took and was announced roughly 1 month ago. As mentioned before, it is one of our core strategic objectives to go and offer services for green, responsive smart cities. Our CEO and president, Mr. Mytilineos, has many times mentioned that until 2050, the group will be net zero. That means that the group operations will be based on green, sustainable energy. And not only that, ESG is also, it is one of our core strategic objectives as well. So we're talking about greening everything. So in Aspas Pitya, one of the more, let's say, focus in important case study that we're going to have, we will apply smart algorithms for prosumers to push them to make them as net zero as possible by applying algorithmics, by applying flexibility services. We will give batteries and local storage devices the ability to self-adapt, to self-tune, and take the maximum green power either from the sun or from other virtual prosumers. Of course, in order to do that, we need data. We have data. And by, of course, using CDW and the core data warehouse that have been implemented under the Microsoft guidance, and by using Azure and Microsoft Cloud Services, we're going to have the data, the power of data. Data for me and for everybody that deals with AI and data-driven services, it is the currency of the 21st century. That being said, we take data, we leverage the power of AI, we raise our awareness on how to create value from the data. And by analyzing these data sets, we will offer many adaptive and disruptive services for the prosumers in Aspas Pitya, in the smart cities, focusing, of course, on the net zero transition. And of course, after that, after finishing the pilots, we're going to have some big announcements end of June, beginning of July on executions in the site. Then we will scale up the service to many other cities and smart cities in Greece and abroad.
That's very interesting. I mean, if you think about Mytilineos 20 years ago producing aluminum billets and slabs, and today thinking and offering piloting prosumer services for a net zero society, it's a great impact. Well, on the technical side of your innovation work, how have Microsoft technologies and services helped you achieve your goals, and what are your plans going forward? What were also your learnings on the journey?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, Microsoft is not only a technology enabler for us, it is a strategic partner for leveraging and enhancing entrepreneurship, which is, for me, one of the basic building blocks of corporate innovation. So if we take technology, creative technology, which is, of course, one of the main components of a big industrial group, as you mentioned, that wants to reinvent themselves or wants to make the digital leap and the transition, some very important corporate tools and technical tools have to be used by the groups, by the companies. So we are already using, as mentioned, Azure databases in order to build our corporate data warehouse. We also using ML Studio and Databricks, because based on these technologies, we are building an internal data factory. And on top of that, we're going to have our AI factory. So it's going to be procedures and technologies in order to test new algorithms and to deploy new AI models and machine learning modules. And of course, smart cities equals IoT Edge and IoT Hub. So these are the two main core Microsoft technologies that we are currently using in order to take or to connect with either existing gateways or to install new devices inside the houses. For instance, we have already developed a technology using IoT Edge and IoT Hub, where we can remotely connect to individual inverters and transform a dummy inverter to a smart gateway. This is one of the main innovations that we will, of course, announce. And based on that, on these algorithms, technologies that we're currently using, based on IoT Hub, Microsoft, based on IoT Edge, and elaborating and advancing machine learning models using ML Studio and the overall Databricks technology, I think we have all the technology stack, okay, that will enable us to do things not only on the technology side, but on the digital strategy side and on the entrepreneurial side. So for me, Microsoft is not only a technology enabler, it is a strategic booster. It is a company, a partner that help us innovate and become entrepreneurial company.
Great to hear that, and as well how you are building, your new IP around the platform services that you mentioned. That is going to be the core for the future growth and value as well. But looking at the broader ecosystem, and you basically started as a researcher, and now within the corporate environment, entrepreneur, and now in a corporate entrepreneur environment. What are your next steps and milestones in a global ecosystem, in a more, let's say, broader ecosystem, in an initiative you called AI for Energy Innovation?
Yes. Of course, the democratization of the AI, it's one of the biggest challenges nowadays, definitely, and especially in the energy domain, how to use and leverage AI under the appropriate ethics and ways and methodologies to offer disruptive services to our clients. And as you mentioned, yes, researcher, entrepreneur, then corporate entrepreneur, the whole journey create also new ways of innovative under a corporate environment. And one of those, I cannot share many things, it's the creation of a new corporate spin-off that we are currently under, it's currently under development, where we will spin off new ideas, new technological innovations, new digital transformation initiatives, so that to make it much more flexible, okay, to innovate, to execute, of course, by leveraging Microsoft technologies. And one of these one of the core vertical sectors that we want to scale similar services are, of course, smart cities. Okay, the Aspas PTA pilot will reveal a lot of new things in roughly 1 month from now, and also flexibility services. So we are leveraging Microsoft technologies by using a corporate spin-off, which is very important for big clients and for big corporations to innovate and to adapt, to become more flexible. It's a global. Of course, objective is not only the Greek market, it is to sell and export innovation to abroad, to European markets that have the regulated philosophy, and they need similar services for their locals.
Well, great to hear. So broader plans. First, you got the startup tech innovation that was included then into Mytilineos, and now a corporate spin-off, basically with new IP plugged in to go on market and try to scale that even outside of the business model within Mytilineos now. So you mentioned the go-to-market as well, and I was wondering, how are you looking to partner with Microsoft in the broader ecosystem for an accelerated scale and go-to-market?
That's another great question, because based on recent discussions that we had with Microsoft executives and C-level executives, we found also opportunities to co-create and to co-develop things. So we're not talking here about only enabling technology. We're not talking here about only boosting technological innovations, but co-creating something. As I mentioned, the thing about how to transform dummy inverters into smart, connected, AI-enabled gateways. This is something that we are currently discussing, of course, so we can have a much more business-oriented partnership, not only on into another level, not only under the technological umbrella. And for me, again, the common denominator, the building block of all this, is how to boost innovation, how to boost intrapreneurship, which is for me the building block of how a big industrial or any type of other group can actually make the transition, can make the leap. So it's about mentalities, it's about processes, it's about procedures. So this is something important that Microsoft has given us already. And I think there are many, many more things to give us in terms of co-development, co-strategy, and co-creation. So co-creation for me, it's the key word for our next steps engagement.
Well, that's great to hear. Thank you very much, Vasilis, for that. I mean, it looks also how the relationship has evolved over time into a co-creation of things, which is very exciting. So thank you very much for this answer so far. And before we jump to questions that might be from the audience, let me just ask you, is there any other question that I haven't asked you, or any final message that you'd like to share with the audience before we take the questions?
No, for me, the journey so far was fantastic. I may also refer to that as a startupper back in 2011, before raising programs back then in 2011 as a BizSpark Plus startup, and I created my initial technologies on Microsoft Azure technologies and platforms. So for me, it's an exceptional journey so far, and I think I'm looking forward to doing more things. Not, as I mentioned, not only in the technological area, but in the co-creation and strategic areas.
That's great. So basically, you do not regret the journey of entrepreneur getting in, getting out, and this has actually given you an additional boost. I'd say probably you had your expertise and your offerings, and
yes,
you kind of merge it with the industrial unit and use that opportunity to transform the industrial unit going forward.
Yeah. That's an amazing story, and I think that's an amazing success story. What we mean when we say a successful or a fruitful M&A. So research, entrepreneurial journey, M&A, transforming internally, and let's say sharing the vision, and then a new corporate spin out to go on and accelerate the path. So I think that this is something that will succeed. And I think by cooperating with Microsoft, the odds are on our side. Okay, so we have plenty of vision and plenty of opportunities to create new things in the very, very near future and term. And the timing is very correct. The timing, because we are in the middle of a huge energy crisis, and as all entrepreneurs have to say, big crises generate big opportunities. So the correct timing, it's exactly right now.
Good. Good, well spotted, and well, I think concluded as well. Great final messages. I'm happy that Microsoft's been supporting you on the transformation journey with technology and services, and that you see that as an opportunity also to go to market together and co-create, as you mentioned, together. Great. Now I think we have concluded well this presentation. I'm not sure whether we have any questions from the audience that we might want to take. Mary, I'm passing on to you.
Yes, actually, we have a question, and I think I will combine it with one of my own. The question is about the R&D department that you have now, Vasilis, at Mytilineos. You know how big it is, and I think from my side, I would add to this question. You know, because you mentioned a lot of things about innovation and entrepreneurship, and you know how this is like a cultural thing for Mytilineos. So if you can elaborate a bit about how you helped set up the R&D department, how big it is, and how you are keeping up with the technology advancements with your people. Do you do trainings? Do you do skilling? How are you leveraging, let's say, all these learning opportunities, perhaps that also we as Microsoft are providing you? So how do you shape your people within R&D for innovation?
That is a great question. Of course, the R&D division right now, the department, it's we have 5 people, and there is a plan, immediate plan to become 15. So I'm under heavy recruiting right now. We are fully agile. That being said, that we are in horizontal because you need to have a very initially the initial creative R&D departments that you don't need to have 50 or 100 people. You need to have a core, a very creative and dynamic core. And then by using a very famous algorithm, the round robin algorithm, you build the ecosystems around you. So for me, the secret for a successful creative R&D and applied innovation department, it is to start with an agile core team that you have a lot of satellites around you. We are collaborating with many Greek universities. Greek universities, Greek research, it's a very strong research. We show them the path for commercialization and the tech transfer. So a very dynamic core of an initial team that you can actually build an open innovation ecosystem around you. The big challenge is how to automatically or semi-automatically manage and create value through that ecosystem. And this system continuously is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So heavy agility, agile philosophy, startup mentality into the department, of course. You actually take ambassadors with you from the board or from the big general managers. They are with you because as soon as you change mentality, you have with you the vision. You share the vision and you take them with you. Okay, that's not an easy part, of course, but it's a tough work. But yes, needs to be done, and we've done it successfully. Agility, a lot of agility, and how to communicate, manage, and make synchronize initial ecosystem around you. For me, the secret is open innovation and ecosystem management. This is where we have to begin from.
Okay, so thanks a lot for this answer, Vasily. I'm more than satisfied with the answer, and I think I learned a lot on how you think about innovation. We have one more question. I think we can take like 1 minute to answer the question. It's about the use of AI in the electricity and energy sector. So our attendee is asking, that that a lot of operators are a bit skeptical about using AI in this sector. They think it might not be safe. It's like a black box that they have. So what is your opinion about this? Is it indeed, not safe?
No, I wouldn't say that AI is not safe, depending on the strategy, because AI is not only technology, it's strategy. Okay, the combination of machine and the human factor, it's the safest things you can do. Of course, you don't give 100% the power to a machine to decide things on its own. No, but the machine can actually optimally recommend things, and the humans can take the final decision. So in that terms, AI is not a black box. AI gives us many, let's say, solutions to make hard decisions, to make fast decisions, to reduce complexity, to reduce uncertainty. But the final decision will be on the human factor. So for me, as many other guys have said, that the combination of a smart AI machine, AI boosted machine, and the human, it's the best combination you can get right now. So the human take decisions, but enhanced through AI in a procedural base.
Thank you for this answer, Vasily. And many thanks for for being here with us, for sharing your personal story as well as the story of Mytilineos and Protegia, and our common story, let's say, between the two organizations. So thanks a lot for being here with us. Mitya, thank you for facilitating the discussion, and thanks for everyone who joined us today. I hope that you enjoyed the discussion as much as I did. So have a lovely rest of the day and enjoy the rest of Build.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.